get once you're live, put it on your channel and put it to where comments and stuff goes up. You're live. Pick it up there.
Testing. My mic in. Okay.
All right. Good morning, guys. I am so excited. Man, let me make sure I check my side so I can see you guys live. Thank you guys for being here. Those who are here, those who are watching live. We really appreciate you guys. We're so excited. You guys missed the little pre-party before we started this conference, just having a good time and just enjoying ourselves. This is Impact, Purpose, Passion, Power, and Possibilities. How to have total prosperity in every area of your life. Yesterday, guys, was so powerful. We went over some very good information. Yesterday, we talked about defining your purpose, 9 steps to getting unstuck. Then we did Dare to Dream Part 1. And that was with Mr. Darrell Lee. And I'm so excited that he's coming back with that in just a second. We did Drive Your Passions. That's by yours truly. And the tax advantages of owning a home-based business. And then, guys, we ended it with Thoughts or Things. You become what you think about. Yesterday was so powerful. Listen, don't miss another Impact conference. Don't miss a conference that you are qualified for to attend. You want to make sure you're in the place so we can see your beautiful face. I'm telling you, the information we gave yesterday was powerful. So what I want to do at this time, guys, is I'm going to bring up a gentleman in just a second that I have tremendous respect for. Those who are watching live, I'm telling you, you're in for a treat. Make sure you get in a quiet place. Happy Sunday to you. Those who are here, happy Sunday to you. We're so excited. Today is going to be awesome. I mean, the gentleman that I'm going to bring before you, he has some great energy. But what I like about him, he's very transparent. I love the stories that he always shares. I love the information that he has. And when he shares his age with you, you're going to be like, what, really? And the experience that he have, guys, this man, he's Army. He just, I guess you could say, left the Army, or what's the proper word when you ETS out the Army, hooah. And did 6 years with the U.S. Army. So, thank you very much for your service, sir. Thank you very much. And of course, he is a married man, found his beautiful wife, his rib, as he liked to say. He is a business owner, guys. He's an investor. As you can see, he is a speaker, author, and coach at his young age. And he loves to dance. If I had the camera on him right now, you'll see him in the background dancing. He loves to dance. But what I love most about him is, yes, he have all the facts, guys, about what he's going to talk about. He's making a lot of money at his young age, how much money he makes. He shared that yesterday briefly. And guys, he loves to have fun. He's a person that you would love to be around. But more than that, he has a heart of gold. He loves people, and sometimes I think a little bit too much, just like Mom. He cares deeply for people. So with that being said, what I want to do is I want to move out of the way of greatness and bring up this coach, author, and teacher, and none other than my son, Mr. Darrell Vincent Lee. Woo!
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
So, before we start, I want to give a little bit of an introduction about myself. I gave some yesterday, but for those of you that didn't catch it or wasn't able to hear what I said, my name is Darrell Lee. I'm 23 years young. I have a background in the military. I joined the military right out of college. And I'm somebody that's accidentally too transparent. I don't mean to be as transparent as I come across, but it's just because I don't want to be somebody that gets on stage and fluff and puff. I want you to get the raw, authentic truth. I want you to hear things that you go through personally and things that you can say, wow, man, this guy just really hits home. He even says the uncomfortable stuff that speakers avoid saying. So, I mean, that was my number one concern. That's my number one thing that I like to do. And just a little bit more about me. I joined the military, like I said, right out of high school. And in the military is where I got a lot of my evidence that how I thought was factual and how I thought was the proper way to think. Because when I joined the military, I mean, I just went so against the curve to what everybody in the military was used to seeing. They were used to seeing somebody that was really young, really ignorant, somebody that really didn't have themselves together, somebody that was just kind of like a follower, consumer, just going with the flow. And I was just somebody that was there for a purpose. And I mean, there was moments where that purpose was unknown to me, but became clear as I began to get out of the military. I found my wife, the love of my life. I mean, the person that just makes me feel good when I wake up. I figured out what I wanted to pursue. I started running into amazing opportunities and amazing people. And all of that came from just staying inspired on my dreams. And I've had a dream since I was young and since I can remember thinking. I had a dream that I was going to be successful and wealthy. And I had a dream that one day I'm going to be able to go anywhere and never think about money being a present thought. I'm just able to do these extraordinary, powerful things because money's not an option for me anymore. And really impacting thousands and thousands and thousands of human life by just doing things that with such heart and such intent and such trying to make people feel good about themselves that it started to become something that me and my wife do regularly. And that has been my dream since I was young. And I've always felt it, but it has not always been present in my current state of life. Like when I was young, I mean, I was somebody that had their mind together but didn't have themselves physically together. So it took me time to grow into becoming the man that I wanted to be. And but as time moved forward, I just started to become this young, powerful, sharp young man. And it's all because of the fact that I just did not want to believe that dreams are fake and dreams are dead. I did not want to believe that God has already preordained certain people to be successful and everybody else is just left out. I did not want to believe that. And I just could not believe that people like Bill Gates, people like Steve Jobs, people like Lil Wayne and Drake, these very successful, influential people are just lucky. They're just lucky. I did not want to believe that. I really wanted to believe that they thought and made the non-physical into the physical. And I felt that for so long and I did not know how to get there. And that not knowing how to get there was the fear that I felt because I did not know. Society likes to jam down your throat. If you don't know what you're going to do by the time you're 18, you're already behind. And that's not true. Some people don't work like that. I mean, there's a guy that founded KFC. He didn't figure out where he was going to make his money from until his 70s. So, I mean, like, society shoves down your throat that you have to know how you're going to become successful right now. If you don't, you're behind. And because of that stigma, I felt like I was behind for so long. And I was stunning my growth and I was stunning my progression. But when I realized that I'm going to go through life the way that God wants me to and the way that I feel like I have to is when I'm going to be successful. It's when I stop trying to do what everybody else was telling me to do and stop trying to listen to the way people was telling me to do things. And I said, I'm just going to go about it my way. Is when I discovered my small successes, and that's when I started to become accomplished and started to powerful things happen in my life. So I say all that to say, you may not know where you're going now, but you have this big dream that of what you want life to be before time takes us. You want, these great things in your life, but you're not in it yet. You don't know how how to start yet. And I say, give yourself time. It'll come to you. Keep praying, stay focused, stay positive, be a hard worker, and you'll naturally fall into what you want to become successful with. So that's the first part. Now we're going to transition into staying motivated and staying focused into your dreams. And I really want you to do that because I know how easy it is to get off track. I know how easy it is for you to get caught up in the web of life. I mean, everybody tells you have to work a 9 to 5. If you want to get wealthy, you got to play the lottery because you're not going to do it in your regular life. You got to work 20 years at a job you hate, go through the Monday to Sunday routine, Monday to Friday, I hate life. It's Friday today, so we're going to go to the club and get drunk, do the same thing on Saturday, and Sunday we're going to go to the church, and then we're going to start it all over again for 20 years. Then you get your golden parachute called retirement, which you can't live off of. You got to get another job for 20 years or have some type of investment, side hustle, or a partner that was doing the same thing for your retirement to even cover you. And then you do that for another 20 years. And then by the time you're 70, 60, then you can enjoy life. Well, you've missed life at that point. Sort of, kinda. You've missed a bulk of it, and all off of a stigma that society gives us, which is you have to work to become successful. You have to work a job. There's no other way. You have to go to school, you have to work a job, and that's the only way you can become successful. And people with dreams like me that say, hey, I don't want to do that. I want to get my money when I'm young. I want to live life for, with being able to do these powerful, amazing things at a young age. People like me feel left out and feel like we're crazy. Feel like we don't have it figured out and we're left behind because we want to do these things that these powerful celebrities do. And I'm here to tell you that that's not the case. When you apply yourself and when you know what you want more than anything, and you have to know it in a way to where nobody can tell you you're wrong. Because the thing that we'll do, we'll get a great idea and we'll seek approval. We'll think it's a great idea when it gets approved. So we'll figure out this company that somebody we know make great money from. We'll be like, oh man, I could do that. Well, let me take the idea to my cousin, my uncle, my mom, my niece, my brother, my siblings, and they're going to tell you because they're used to working a job and that's the only way they know how to get successful. You're ridiculous. Pipe dream, don't quit your day job. Find something that you can do that works, that's not an air ball, because they're not used to that. And then you, like a fool, take your good idea, put it right back in your pocket and forget about it. Then another idea comes, and you do the same thing. It gets kicked down there, you put it right back in your pocket and you forget about it. And this happens until you grow this bitterness and this hate for somebody that wants to do that. Because you say to yourself, man, this person's talking like how I talked 20 years ago. And what happens if they actually pursue it and become successful? Well, it makes me look like I'm lazy, I'm unaccomplished, and I let life kind of put me down. So you attack and you tell them, well, now you're trying to live a pipe dream. You become the person that did that to you. And all off of the fact of just giving up on dreaming, which is why this segment is called Dare to Dream. Because dreaming nowadays is not just an easy decision. I mean, you're really going against the curve to have a conversation and talk like a young kid again. What do you want to be when you grow up? Well, you're already grown. You can't talk like that anymore. I mean, people they can't get around their friends and family and tell them, in their 30s, hey, I'm thinking about starting this new company. Because they're going to look at them and say, didn't you miss that curve? Don't you do that when you're young? You can't do that when you're in your 30s. You got a kid. You got a family. You can't afford to do that. And they stay into their routines because they're scared to dream. So daring to dream is a big subject. And it's something that it takes a lot of confidence to do, and it takes a lot of personality. And you just have to know what it is you want out of life. And that is where I've been fortunate. No matter what I've been through, I've always wanted and I've always known what I wanted out of life. I've always known the things I wanted out of life. I always knew the type of life that I wanted, no matter what was going on. I mean, there was times where I didn't have the nicest shoes. There was times where I was going to a gas station and I had to, dig for change to even buy something. There's times where I had to stretch $10 for gas for the week. So, I've been there. The physicals are never always look like that for me. It's starting to reflect it now. Me and my wife, we make great money. We, live a very comfortable life. We can do what we want to do, take vacation when we want to. But before, it didn't look like that. Before, there was times where me and my wife was waiting for that 15th check to hit just to get food for the night. So, it's the physical, but you can't get caught up on that. You have to believe it so much that nobody can tell you differently. That even the physical can't tell you differently. Because, there's moments where, everybody always like to call it that real life moment. Where, you'll be doing something dreamy, you'll get into something dreamy, and then the first sign of failure, you think in your mind, yep, I knew it was too good to be true. And then you bail out of it, give up on it, become less passionate about it. But I knew that no matter what was going on right now, I'm going to be successful one day. I knew that. I said, I know no matter what's going on, how old I get, I'm going to see success. I know that. Nobody can tell me differently. And because I knew that, and I prayed on it, I would go to the mall, and I would look at the mall differently than everybody else looked at it. I would look at it like everybody was going there, they look at it and say, I'm broke, I can't get that right now. I would say, you know what, I can see myself in 5 years coming to this same mall, walking in this same store and picking that thing up and looking at it like, wow, I really couldn't afford this 5 years ago? It's cheap now. That's how I looked at stuff. I told the story about me and my wife going to an Omega store. Omega's one of my favorite watch brands, and my wife took me there to be sweet so I could finally start matching reality with how I thought. I always talked about it, never been to a store though. So she said, if you're going to start buying this stuff, babe, you got to be in the store to get it, right? I said, yeah, absolutely. So she said, let's go. So we went to the store. And I did it right after work. I was in my uniform. And, this older guy walks up to me, sizes me up really quick, and, probably makes a good assumption off what I make. What the military make is public knowledge. You can look up my rank on Google. Okay, he makes $38,000. So I know that's what he makes. He can't afford these watches. Wow. So I went in there, and he's looking at me. And, I immediately knew that he knew I could not pay for this stuff yet. And he walked up to me and he's just like, oh, how can I, what can I do for you today? And I told him, no, we're just looking around and stuff. So he's like, being polite, entertaining it, wasting time, taking me to look at the watches and stuff. And he said something to me that made me feel small for a brief second. I had my first good watch, really, really nice watch was a Hamilton. And Hamilton is not as big as Omega, but it was, it was my watch. It was my nice watch. And so I felt confident about it. And, I mentioned it to him. He was like, well, do you buy watches? Have you bought any nice watches yet? And I said, yeah, I have a Hamilton. And then he says, oh, I have a couple of those at home. And I'm just like, oh, did you really have to say that? Like, wow, come on, dude. Let me keep my nugget, man. But he throws that out really quick, and it makes me feel really small because it to me, that was like my first nice big watch. And for somebody to just say, I own a couple of those, it just kicked me in the chest. And then he goes to the back and grabs a hat and hands the hat to me in a way as if saying, I know you're probably never going to be able to buy anything in here, wow. So let me at least let you leave with something. Wow. And I said to myself, you know what? That's God right there showing me exactly what I think is the right way to think. Because the average person that believes that they're not going to get success, that they're not going to see that stuff, is not going to be in their life, they're going to get mad about that. Because they're going to say that, how dare you tell me what I already believe? I know I won't get that one day. You shouldn't say it, though. But for me, I was looking at him like, you're ridiculous. That's going to be easy for me to get one day. I know that. I can't get it right now. But one day, when I go in there, I'm going to be able to buy this whole store if I wanted to. I'm going to be able to own an Omega store if I wanted to. So him saying that didn't make me feel little, and I told my wife about it. My wife was mad because, black women, man, they ready to snatch somebody up. They talk to their boo the wrong way, man. And she was ready to snatch him up. I said, no, babe, no, it's not that serious. I said, we're going to own this stuff one day, right? She's like, yeah, you're right, babe, but he didn't have to say that. So I say all that to say I believe in myself so much that the physical did not matter. And no matter what I went through, where I was, how confused I was, I knew that God would put me on the right path one day. And now as I look at my life, I'm saying, man, 3 years ago, I did not know I was going to be here. I had no idea that I would be having money like that. I'll have a beautiful, grateful wife. I have an amazing life. I did not know that. 3 years ago, I was in the military, about to go to Africa. So it's just like, life just goes so uncontrollably. And for you to stomp your growth and just give up on dreaming off of what's going on in the now. I mean, I love saying the story about, do everybody remember their first breakup? The first person that break your heart? How, what you say to yourself in the moment, how am I going to get over this? Oh, I just can't wait for it to be a year from now when I can't feel this no more. And then a couple years go by, you don't even remember it. I mean, you remember it, but you don't remember what it feels like. It's not that serious to you anymore. It's just something you just, talk about occasionally when somebody bring up a similar situation. So you don't think it feels like that to go from being broke to being wealthy? That you look at being broke as like a pastime, something you used to do? I mean, stuff like that happens every day. I want to tell you guys one of my favorite stories, and I saved it because I just think this story is so powerful. And something I do when I go through, this Dare to Dream, and when I'm dreaming, and when I'm trying to stay inspired, when the physical is not matching how I'm thinking about it, I pull a champion. I pull somebody that's championed that pain before. I pull somebody that's been through equally or worse than what I'm going through. And I like doing worse because it makes me feel a little bit better. I'm like, dang, at least I ain't going through that. I mean, I look at some of those situations, where some of these celebrities have been down and out, and they've changed everything in their life off of just how they think and hard work. So one of my favorite champions to use is J.K. Rowling. And you may know J.K. Rowling as the Harry Potter author. She wrote Harry Potter. You may not know how much she made from Harry Potter, but you know she made a lot of money from Harry Potter. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about her story, a little bit about her background. J.K. Rowling, she was a single mother, and she was, broke, not really having money, but she was also dibbling and dabbling out of writing. And here is a little paragraph from a piece that somebody wrote about her and her writing experience. They said after sending her manuscripts to 12 different publishers and getting rejected by every single one, Rowling began losing confidence in her book. Finally, the editor at Bloomsbury Publishing Company sat down to read the manuscript, and so did the editor's 8-year-old daughter. He says, the little girl loved the opening characters and begged to read the whole thing. This made the publisher agree to publish Rowling's novel. But Rowling was left with a warning that she should get a day job because she wouldn't make any money writing children's books. Once Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone was published, though, she proved everyone wrong. J.K. Rowling went from a jobless single mother living off unemployment benefits to one of the best-selling authors of all time. But it didn't happen overnight. She faced rejection and constantly strived for success. She worked hard at her craft before anyone noticed her. That practice, along with strengthening herself against rejection, was what made her work unforgettable. Looking back, the Harry Potter series has earned over $400 million in book sales, and the last movie alone earned $476 million in ticket sales, on opening weekend. Think about that. I'm gonna just keep reading it. We're gonna talk about that. She was the first female to become a billionaire author. Not that many authors make it that far in the first place. So I love this story because you can just do a comparison to then and now. And that is just so powerful because nobody's telling you you're gonna have that. Nobody gives you that approval when you come up with the idea. Yeah, that's the $1 million idea. You kind of have to just go through the process with the idea. And sometimes when you go through the process, you hit a brick road. It wasn't for you. And then sometimes you go to the process and you just get a little bit deeper than you did before. Like, wow, okay, this kind of gave me a little money. Then you get a little bit deeper. You're like, wow, okay, this might be what I was meant to do. Then you hit the gold mine and you're just like, wow. But you don't realize you've been in that gold mine digging for 7 years. 7 years. You've been working and grinding this idea to just see what's on the end of the road. And like I said, not every time you're going to get it. Some people stay in a company for 20 years before they realize they made a bad decision to be with that company. Some people stay working a job, they 9 to 5, they good old 9 to 5 where Bobby likes them enough to look over when they come late, and they can go in their car to take their breaks and extend a little break out. So they say, this is the job I'm gonna keep. I'm comfortable enough to retire off this job. And they work that job for 20 years and then they go in their desk to look at Bobby again, and Bobby says, we're so proud of you for working with us. You know what? Just for staying for 20 years, your retirement for the rest of your life is $20 grand a year.
Oh,
enjoy it. That's yours. Take it. You deserve it. And you're like, wow, great. You all feel good until you realize I'm 45. And then you sit down on your couch and you try to take a year off work and bills start getting cut off. And you're like, wait, this retirement I'm supposed to be able to live off this. And you realize that sad, depressed thought. I got to go back to work and do it all over again. Now you got to compact retirements just to live, just to see the end of the day so your money don't outlive you. Isn't that a funny statement? Your money doesn't outlive you. Isn't that hilarious? You ever think about that? Your money doesn't outlive you. Shouldn't it be the opposite way? Shouldn't it? You don't outlive your money? So it's just like, wow. I think about that and I said to myself when I see that, like, oh, no, I'm not going to live that life. No. Or I hear these horror stories where these college kids, they say, oh, I'm going to listen to what my mom said. I'm going to go to school, good grades. I'm going to go to college, get a good job, get a big house. And, get a family, and then that'll be enemy. So they go to school, not knowing what they want to pursue, not knowing what they want to do, just going with the curve. They say, I'm going to be a psychologist. I'm going to study psychology. Or, I'm going to do something that everybody else told me to study. And then they get through college 4 years and have amassed 60,000, 70,000. I mean, I could look up the statistic for the average college student debt. And it'll blow your mind. Like, they come out owing money. And they say, you know what? I finally got it, though. I got that degree. I got that golden piece of paper. I'm going to take that, and I'm going to go get a good paying job. And that's going to fix the debt, and I'm going to live a great life. And then they go, they can't find a job. Or they find a job, and it's not where they want to be. Or they get told, the bachelor's degree, everybody got that. We need you to get your master's. Get that. They say, okay, you know what? I'm going to go back to school. Get more debt. Then they get out of their master's, and then we say, then wasn't there somebody that got their master's degree, couldn't even get a job? Ended up being a leasing agent with their master's degree because they couldn't get a job. There's some people that got dual master degrees that can't get a job. Or can't get a job in where they want to get a job at. Or they go through a hard degree like an accountant, and they come out making 38, 40, 42. You can't live, you can't do nothing with that. You are kind of comfortable. Yes?
We have someone that's listening live. They want to know, how did you get to this level so young, and they was keep asking me, how old are you?
Oh, well, I'm 23. I'm 23. And I got to this, because I just pay attention. And one of the most powerful things I ever heard is, why would I go through something when I can see somebody else go through it?
Come on.
And, I love that, because I'm somebody that I don't like wasting time. It's funny, me and my wife, we was going apartment shopping, and we, gave them $100 deposit. Turned out something goofy happened, so we couldn't get the place. They gave us some ridiculous was going on. And we weren't even mad about losing $100. We were mad we wasted the time. I can't get those 2 days back.
Time is money.
Time is everything. Time is your future. Time is, those 2 hours can make you a millionaire. So it's just like, I got that way. I got how I am now because I will look at people that went through what I was about to attempt to go through, or I will look at just decisions that they made, and I would really like put them in my brain and study them. And I'm not going to make that decision. And I always say, you get out of life what you believe you can get out of life. If you don't think you can get away with it, you won't. If you can, and you think you can get away with it, you will every time. It's funny, I say this, and don't look at me sideways, but one of my favorite professions is what are they called? Consmen? People that con people. And the reason why, people think it's crazy, I say that, everybody always get mad at me, that's unethical, why would you like that, why do you think it's cool? Because I just love, for you to con somebody, you gotta really be working it. You gotta really apply yourself. That's hard to do because you gotta make yourself think you're smarter than them, and then you have to finesse your way into what you're trying to get. And if you do that in your life, think about if you start a job and you plot to become the CEO of that site or the plant manager of that site, and you do a real map to get there. Okay, you know what? On Tuesday, I'm gonna bring in donuts because that's gonna boost morale. That's gonna make people start liking it. Then I'm gonna always be on time. I'm always gonna jump to do stuff. Next thing you know, you're gonna start seeing something happen. It's gonna start working a little bit. Next thing you know, people like you when you come around. Bobby asked you to come hang out with him on the weekend, like he never asked anybody to do. Hey, come hang out with me this weekend. Next thing you know, somebody, the guy that runs that slot right now just got he just fired, he just left, he just quit. Next thing you know, Bobby's asking you, hey, you want to work at that? See, that happens. So think about if you did that through anything you did in your life. What am I trying to get from this? How am I going to get it? What am I going to do that differently than everybody else do? You start getting stuff. That's the only thing that happened to me. I was talking to somebody at work, and he was saying, man, you look bougie and look like you enjoy life, and, how do I get to where you are right now? And I told him, belief. And that just blows people's mind. They hate hearing stuff like that. Simple answers, and they always think it's some overly complicated formula. It's literally the most simple things that trip you up. Don't they say relationships don't end on the big stuff, ends on the small little nugget stuff?
Yeah.
It never ends on the big stuff. You never get into stuff on the big stuff. It's just the small little detail you missed. Belief. A lot of people don't believe because they just don't think it's that easy. They're just like, you're kidding. I told the story yesterday about a friend that, doubled his salary at a job just off of belief. He was working a job, said, I see another job that I can make a lot of money at, and applied for that job off smoke and got hired.
Didn't have the skills.
Didn't have the skills, didn't have the knowledge, didn't have the experience, didn't have the degree, just applied themselves. Studied it, studied the monologue, the script, practiced their lines, and applied themselves. Got an interview, rock starred it, got hired. Blew my mind. I said, you're kidding me. You really got hired off just talking? I said, what about the degree you said you had? I ain't look it up. It's like they hire you just off of your competence level, if you sound like you're competent. Favor. So it's just like, now that person's making a killing. But imagine if they didn't think they could get away with it. Imagine if they would have had that thought and said, I'm never going to be able to get away with that, please. Come on now. We're not even going to try that. Would never have that job. Imagine if any of the people that's hit these heights of success did what everybody in society does. Majority of society does. The person that built the plane. Imagine if he said to himself, nah, that sounds ridiculous. I can't do that. Imagine the person that created railroad tracks. Man, I can't do that. That sounds ridiculous. Like, we wouldn't have none of this stuff. So things are created off of brave people. And one of my favorite champions, Grant Cardone, literally talks about bravery makes money. Bravery makes money. Because, I mean, it's not easy to do these things. It's not easy to go against the curve and to create something in your life that people are telling you you can't create. That's not easy to do. It's hard. It feels bad. You don't have nobody to suffer it through with you. You feel alone all the time. You feel like you're foolish or you're wasting time. And it's sad because then you start getting to this mode where you want to get approval from people. You'll start going and pitching your idea, and then you're not getting that approval, so then you just give up on it. Yes?
We have Miss Patina. Say hi to Patina.
Hi, Miss Patina.
She is saying that she really appreciates everything that you're saying, and she said keep up the good work.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. But like I was saying, so that's why I talk so much about Dare to Dream, and just getting back to that, which is dreaming is not easy. It's not something that's easy to do, and it's not something that everybody wants to do. And it's something that's hard, and it's something that you're going to really, really, really have to dig in and really make it work. You're really going to say, you know what, if this is just smoke and if this is just something that doesn't exist, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to figure it out. I'm not going to let what somebody else tell me make that decision for me. I'm going to figure it out for myself. And Will Smith talk about, running on that treadmill, and, he may not be the best, but he's going to die. You either going to be fast or he's going to die. And that's the type of obsession you need to have to be successful. It needs to be an undying thought that does not change with what goes on in your life, does not change with what goes on with you, something that you are just dead set on. And I mean, that's how I treat my life and my wife's life. That's how I treat going forward in the future. I say to myself, I'm going to pull this stuff out of society. I'm going to pull the nice cars. I'm going to pull the beautiful relationship out. I'm going to pull the being the best person I can be. I'm going to pull this stuff out with belief and with faith and with prayer and just staying focused and just knowing it so obsessively that I just cannot forget about it. It's all I talk about. I tell this story about belief and how you can generate stuff into your life. When I was younger, there was this my mom didn't have money to really throw at all the little video game tangents that we wanted. So when the little video game came out, we'd run to her and she'd be like, son, I'm trying to pay rent. I'm not trying to buy your game. And, so I really wanted this game so bad. And I was high off of The Secret. I had just saw The Secret, and they were talking about visualizing, and I'm a kid, so I'm already overly imaginative. So I'm like, wow, that stuff works. Some magical genie just gonna toss it to me if I sit there and pretend for a couple hours that it's real. So, I was doing it, and then I started having a little fun with it. I would run to my brothers, and I'd be like, Dale, before I leave, I want you to tell me I got that video game. And he'd roll his eyes and get out of my room, and I'd be like, no, I'm not getting out until you tell me. So then he'll go and tell me, like, all right, Darrell, you got the video game. I'm like, good, thank you. I go to Darnell, tell me I got the video game. And I literally did this to everybody in my family. For 3 weeks, I had them say, I have that video game. And then one day I was at the library. We go to a public library to, get on the computers and play games. And I was in the library playing my game, and I was by some guy that I'd never seen before, and I lived in that library. So I'd never seen him before. And I said, hey, he was playing the same game I was playing. So I looked over and talking to him. We talking about the game, and then we started talking about other games, and then we get on the game that I wanted. And I said, yeah, man, that new Naruto game came out. I really want that game. He said, oh, wow, you do? I said, yeah. Like, why you ask? He was like, I have it. I don't even play it. I said, you're kidding me, dude. You don't have that game. Get out of here, man. Stop messing with me. He's like, no, I literally have the game in my system right now. I do not play that game. I said, well, I mean, you're not playing it, and I don't have money, so, like, can I borrow it? He was like, yeah, man, you can borrow the game. I don't care. Like, keep the game.
Wow.
I said, what? Keep it? You gonna give that game just came out? I do not play that game, man. You can take the game if you want. I said, this is fake. I went home. He was like, yeah, I'm gonna meet you tomorrow at 6 o'clock. I'm like, yeah, tomorrow at 6 o'clock, right? You need me to get my mom to call you to remind you? He's like, no, I got it, 6 o'clock. So I went home and I can't sleep. I'm like, this is not real. Go to the library. He pulled the game out and hands it to me. I'm like, man, come on, get out of here. I'm like, this game don't work. I was like, this is probably some game he done scratched up. I'm going to put it in my system, and it's just not going to work. Because, you know, that's how we do, right? We finally get that dream job, that dream business, that dream idea, and we just start blocking it with ourselves. It's not going to work because I don't think it's going to work. It's not going to work because it's not supposed to work. It's not going to work because it just can't be that easy. So then I go home, I put the game in my system, turn the system on, the game works smooth. Perfectly fine, nothing wrong with it, brand new. And I said to myself, wow, you're kidding me. It's that easy to get a video game? I said, man, I wonder if this works with real stuff. I said, it works for a video game like that, man. I wonder if I won $1 million. How am I going to get that? Well, that's a bigger dream. That's a bigger thought, so it's going to take a lot more effort. The law of alchemy, I talk about all the time to my wife, the law of alchemy. You can't want something and not give equal or greater value. So you have to either do it in what? Work or material. Or in your brain. Everything that's built is built off a blueprint. So you got to build the blueprint, and then you just add the materials, and you get it. Go ahead.
Okay, Ms. Patina has another question. She said, how do he keep himself motivated and focused being very young in age when a lot of his peers are all about that partying sway life and still haven't discovered what their passion or purpose in life is?
All right, well, I'm going to answer that question by being transparent like I am. I do love partying. I do love that sway life. Me and my wife, we love partying. We're millennials. I just talk to my mom all the time. I tell her the truth. I say, I love having fun, partying and stuff. But, and you got to have a balance, though. And, I'm just somebody that I'm cool. I can be hanging out with you at the club on Saturday, and on Sunday, I'm about my money. I'm like, what we doing? I tell my friends all the time. I don't kick their ideas. I have friends that I hang out with, to party and have fun with. And then I have the ones I know is about, their business, about money, about, going to the next level. And I don't mix and mingle those friends. So I told myself, I said, I want to be a well-rounded circle. I don't want to be jagged on certain ends. So I don't want to have all the, the sharp ideas and about the money and then have a horrible personal life. I want to have the whole circle. So when I challenge myself, when I go out and I have fun, I say, I had a blast today, but tomorrow is business. Tomorrow it's time to do, time to do the right thing, time to get this work started. Monday through Friday, me and my wife, we focus, grinding, talking about what we're going to do, how we're going to get to the next thing. And then, the weekend, we act the fool, have fun. So, that's what I would say. I would say it's about having a good fix and, a good, a good equation for it. And the thing I do, the way I stay focused is I look at champions. I look at people that are where I want to be. And I say to myself, man, if I was this person's friend, would I lose the relationship off of me? Would they be how I've been with certain people? There's certain people I call I can't talk to anymore. They talk about too much foolishness. I'm getting affected by it. Me and my wife, we always talk about our chi. You can't mess up my chi. You can't mess up my energy. Like, there's people that you bring into your atmosphere, they just got so much darkness around them. Like, they just talking about stuff that, man, I can't talk to you. I feel drained after I have a conversation with you. So I keep those people away. And then I say to myself, man, if I'm somebody's successful friend, will I be that person? I'm talking about stuff, thinking it's, relevant and a good topic, and they looking at me like, wow, dude, seriously? Nope, not calling you again. So it's just like, with that, and I also tell myself I have something to prove to myself and to my family. I want to be sharp. Yes.
Somebody Minister Ray Muhammad. He says that you really amaze him, and he said that we did a good job raising you, and he's very proud of you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. But yeah, so that's how I keep myself focused. And then I just ask myself what I want out of life, and what does that mean I have to sacrifice? And I know I want nice things. Yeah, I mean, it's not off of such the material, but it's just off of the freedom of not having to talk about it no more. I mean, you think about something you want to do, and you're not talking about the object of money no more. Man, I got to get that money to do that. And I don't want my wife to go through that. I don't want my kids to go through that. I want them to talk about, man, I'm puzzled. Do I want to buy a McDonald's or do I want to buy a Chick-fil-A?
I know that's right.
I want them to talk about, man, we take too much vacation time. We need to work a little bit more this year. Not saying, oh, if I quit this job, that's it. Not scared that, every day they boss look a little bit more angry today, so they might lose their job. You know, there's people that live like that in fear of losing their job. Man, if this person fired me, you know what would happen? I would lose everything. There's people like that. That's just this close to losing everything. So it's just like, I don't want to be one of those people, and I'm not going to be one of those people. And I always tell my wife, I'm not going to be the person that you see at Walmart bagging stuff. No, none against nobody in Walmart. That's their thing. None against anybody, just not me. I don't want to be at Walmart and you see me putting up groceries and then you went to class with me. And you're like, don't I know you? No, you don't. No, you do not know me. Yes, you have a question?
So what do you say to people that need to get their life back on track to follow their dreams? What do you think they should do?
I say to start dreaming again first. First you got to start dreaming again. And you got to get some passion and some excitement about dreaming again. Because it's scary at first to start wanting these things that you've been trained that you can't get. Stuff that only the hand-picked, hand-chosen is going to be able to experience. So you got to first start believing again. You got to start dreaming again. Then you got to get around somebody that's going to tell you it's real. They're going to show you that stuff's real. It's not fake. That's easy to do if you think about it. Just hang out in those establishments. Be in those establishments. You're going to run into people all the time that's doing that stuff. And then I say, challenge yourself. You're going to have to break a weak work ethic. Because jobs, there's two different types of work ethics. And I say people that work 2 jobs are some of the hardest working people you'll ever meet. There's people out here that literally get off work, rest 30 minutes, and go right back on an 8-hour schedule. But they don't have that, they don't have that money, they don't have the stuff that they want, but they're killing themselves at that level of work. So you gotta work a little differently. You gotta put less in your job, more in you. More into, because you're gonna grow their business, and the way they got their system designed, you're not gonna break through and hit new heights. They got it designed. Me and my wife was talking about insurance sales. We was doing, we do life insurance. We was talking about when you work for an insurance broker, you're not designed to make a lot of money. You just can't. By the time you've made them a couple million, you looking at, you only made like $100,000, something like that. It's just the way the system is made. Some of these businesses out here, you make them 20 million, you walking away with 2.
That's the truth. Remember one guy?
Yeah.
He made the company $80 million over 8 years, and he only made 8.
Yeah, made the company $8 million over 8 years, $80 million, and only took home 8. So that's why I say work on your stuff, because nothing's ever going to reward you the way that your stuff's going to reward you.
Amen.
So you get your passion, your idea, what makes you feel good, rather it don't even have to be something super over the top. It could just be owning a dance studio. I just want to own a dance studio one day and bring in great revenue from it to take care of itself. So you have to develop the blueprint for that, and you have to build that up, and that can be your dream. So it's like anything you want out of life. If it's it can be a $10,000 idea or $1 million idea. It's just literally the work. That's the only thing that's changing it. So like I said, with Dare to Dream, that's why I would say that somebody has to do. They have to start daring to dream again. They have to, really build themselves up, and they have to figure out what they want. They just have to get into it. Just start. And then, like I said, just know what you deserve. If you know you're not somebody that, deserve nice things, then don't go for it. Wow. If you don't feel like you do. I tell the people all the time, don't waste your time and your money. If you know you're going to join something and you're not going to do it, why are you wasting money? Yeah. Just stick to your good old, your good 9 to 5. Save wait for tax season to come, ball out.
Oh my goodness.
And rinse and repeat. Yeah. So you just have to know. And then if you're somebody that don't want that stuff but do want that stuff, you've been trained to, not want that stuff, but you do want it. Train yourself to want that stuff and that you do want it. And then start pursuing it. There's no excuse nowadays. Didn't they make a movie where Bruce Willis did everything off of YouTube? He did everything off YouTube. Die Hard. What was the name of that movie we just watched? He wanted to learn how to cipher something, pulled up YouTube to do it. Wanted to learn how to shoot, pulled up YouTube to do it. What's the name of that movie?
Oh, yeah,
the one where
that we just recently watched.
What's the name of it? It's with Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
It just came out. I know
it just came out.
It was originally a Charles Bronson movie.
Yeah. So, y'all get what I'm saying, though. He did everything off YouTube. You can do the same thing nowadays. I can't afford to go to a Grant Cardone seminar. Guess what? He got a YouTube channel where he loves to rant.
Yes.
You don't got to go to the seminar and pay all that money. Oh, I don't know how to get into... I want to be an influencer, but I don't know how to start influencing with social media. Guess what? YouTube.com, how to start influencing with social media. Enter, do it. As long as you got internet, or you know some place that got internet, you can do it now. So cut the excuse out and just be honest. Live a comfortable life. Great, this isn't for you. Or I want to start dreaming and I don't know how to. Great, this is for you. Figure out what you want to do first. And that's really where it starts at, figuring out what you want to do. A lot of people just don't know. So we're going to end it, and I'm going to end it by saying, save yourself the time and figure out what you want, and then make yourself a blueprint to get there. What'd you say?
It was Death Wish.
Oh, yeah. Death Wish. There you go. That was the name of the movie.
You had to figure it out, right?
Figure out where you want to be, and make a blueprint. Pick a champion. Sounds simple. Get your belief right, and start studying. And then follow your route. Don't use other people's story. Don't make other people's story your story. You might hear somebody got into that and did it in 20 minutes. Guess what? That's not you. That's another conversation, man. I used to get so mad when people would hear this amazing story. I made 50 grand in this business in 10 minutes. As soon as I joined, I got a phone call, 50 grand.
I know, right?
And you sitting there, oh, wow. 50 grand in 10 minutes? I can do it in 5. Then you join, and an hour passes, and you like, come on, 40 minutes. That was 40 minutes ago I said I was going to make that money. That's not your story. Unfortunately, it's not your story. You got to get your own. You might be on that track for 20 years. That might be what God got for you. Hey, that's where you're going to make your money, but you're going to be in there for a minute. For you see it, and you listen to somebody else and you quit. Because that's not your story. So don't make nobody else your story. And then, like I said, just figure out what you want, make a decision, and then start getting it. So I'm going to go ahead and end it. And I'm going to go ahead and bring up Miss Davis, the great Miss Davis. I always say I wish I could speak like her, but I can't. Because she's just so gifted, man. She can bring the rain down from just talking. She's an amazing mother, amazing supporter. She really has a big heart. She loves to talk to people, love to help people hit new heights and to figure out things and to get the level of success that she wants. Like I said, she's self-motivated. I've seen this woman do and say what she got to get that life and to make her family happy and to really, really, really be an influencer and a positive, motivational person. And I wish that I could be 10% of the speaker that she is one day. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up the great, great, great Jean Davis. Let's give her a round of applause, everybody. Woo!
I love you too. Oh wow! I know people are really laughing at you online, but I really want. Do you want me to use this one or this one? Okay. Well, I look, guys. Let's give it back up for Mr. Vincent Lee. Woo, 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 woo. You go to the next slide, please. Listen, oh man, you got so many people that is asking you questions, and I think I got a lot of their questions, and I apologize, guys, that's watching live. If I didn't get it, we'll come back and get the questions answered. And I forgot that, what time is that? That's towards the end. We'll find out about the discussion. But really, I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for being here. I am so excited. I got you guys here, so I don't know how I'm going to flip back and forth. I'm going to try my best to flip back and forth and answer you guys' questions. And I got to make sure, can you grab those glasses out of there, babe? Because I know I can't see anything. I can't see anything. I'm like, why is everything looking blurry? And why is everything looking blurry and things of that nature? But guys, thank you so much. We're so excited. And I'm looking online. There's a lot of you guys watching live, and that's awesome. And I hope you're having a great Sunday, and thank you for being here. I really appreciate guys who are here. What we're going to talk about right now is the power to create wealth. More so tapping into the source. And how do I, really use my power? What does power mean? And we're going to go over that this morning, guys, and spend a little time. And I'm glad that you brought some paper, because we got some activities that we're going to be going over. Yesterday we talked about believing. We talked about the power of I am. We talked about, walking in our divine purpose. We shared Mr. Vincent Lee. He opened up with talking about daring to dream, and he just did part 2 today. And let me just tell you that one of the things that I wanted to know was like what he said earlier. Is some people born with better genes or genes that allow them to be successful over other people who were not born with it? Okay, how did Michael Jordan become Michael Jordan? How did Michael Jackson become Michael Jackson? When you look at the definition of power, it says the capacity or ability to direct or influence the behaviors of others or the course of events. I also, when I did a Facebook Live here recently, I was talking about power, and I discovered that it also talked about walking in your own power and embracing the power from within. How do you go about doing that? And when I think about influence, the behaviors of others, like they say, you're influential when you can move people without putting your hands on them. And when I think about that, the first image that came in my mind was Michael Jackson. If you watch Michael Jackson, man, I go back and I miss him so much, and may God be pleased with him. But when I would watch Michael Jackson, I would say, wow. When I would look at the people, and I would say, why are they crying over him? You just see that they would be crying. And I'm talking about real cry. I'm talking about stuff coming out the nose, out the mouth. It's like the people falling out. Security can barely keep people back. They trying to get to Michael. They reaching out to like he's Jesus Christ. Like if I could just touch him. And when Michael was doing his movements and stuff, they they just falling out. And I was just like, maybe somebody else was watching like, oh, all these people are really into him. But I look at things differently. I said,
that man is powerful. You know, to be able to move people like that. I was like, good night. And then when I would look at, you know, I grew up on Michael Jordan. You know, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen. I know other people watching, y'all saying, I have somebody saying, oh, thank you so much. Somebody else saying, thank you so much for sharing this. But listen, I grew up on Michael Jordan, and I wasn't a basketball fan, but I love watching Jordan with those Chicago Bulls. And it seemed like that man would just be hitting threes like it was nothing. Jordan for three. Jordan for three. Jordan for three. Him and Scotty, they in their tag teaming, making it happen, doing stuff. And I was like, that man is powerful. That man is powerful. And then I remember growing up and, you know, I would listen to Minister Farrakhan and I would listen to him speaking. I said, man, that man is powerful. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, listen to different people speaking in their different crafts, whether you believe in them or not. I would like say, wow, what can I learn from that individual? And when you go and do the research and how long it took for them to get there, how many hours they were putting into their craft. You know, it wasn't no overnight thing that everybody believed that, you know, once you see somebody, for instance, let's take a movie star. It's this one star. I'm into British movies, okay? I'm really into, my husband said, I need to go research and see, do I have some British in me? I don't know, between watching British movies and watching, Jewish movies, Nigerian movies, you know, I like international, like I really have to go to the Sundance Festival one day because I just love the international movies because I guess they really tell a story. It's not like in the American movies, some of them tell a story, some of them just too violent, just too much going on. And so me striving to keep some form of innocence, some form of, sameness and not be contaminated, I like watching these British movies. And then here's another one. I don't want nobody to feel offended that is watching live or here. Another person, I mean, think about it. I want you to think about, we're talking about power, the influence, the behaviors of others, or the course of events. Like my husband said, I like watching Jewish movies. When I watch Hitler, I'm like, this man was, what was he, 5'2", 5'3"? So he was a short man, very short, you know, but somehow, some way, he was able to influence the Germans that it was the Jews' fault that they were struggling financially. And then he put this idea out here about German and being pure, you know, German and all this old kind of stuff. Madness, just straight madness. And what he attempted to do to eradicate the Jewish culture, the Jews, period. But what I thought about is how this little short man, all these people surrounding around, how in the world did they buy into his idea? That for, what was it? They said 10 years, really 10 years, that this kind of madness went on. And of course, you know, he punked out. He killed himself in the end. You know what I'm saying? He didn't let nobody get to him. He went in and took his own self out. But I was just like, when I watch it and I saw even the detail of the camps, the detail of how they got the people, the detail of, I mean, if you watch it and do the research, I mean, it's something like, what kind of mind thinks like that? I mean, it's just crazy. But he was able to influence the behaviors of others. So when I think about power, how do I tap into my power? How do I release my power? How do I become what God wants me to be? How can I influence others in a righteous manner? Not in a crazy manner like Hitler, but how can I really tap into what it is that God has for me? One of the main things is, I'm going to put up here, step one, and I'm going to go back and forth, guys. Step one is to be more real. Okay? And you guys may want to write this down. Be more real. What does that mean? It means that your real power stems from your authentic truth. This exercise heightens your awareness of what it feels like to be in your truth versus what it feels like to be out of alignment. What I want you to ask yourself is, how do you feel when you're being you? Okay? How do you feel when you are being you? And then I want to ask you, how do you feel when you're being other than yourself? And this is a question that you can ask yourself right now, but write these questions down because it's going to really help you to tap into your power when you think about it. How do you feel when you are being you? When I am being myself, I'm excited, I'm motivated, I'm encouraged, I'm silly. I noticed that I have a little goofy point with myself. I know, I'm telling you, I know, I sometimes I crack up laughing. I said, honey, you married a goofy woman. He's like, I'm goofy too, babe. We both goof. We like goof. We crack up. We say we goofballs, but I enjoy myself. I'm loving. I'm kind. I'm very spiritual. I love to pray. I love to motivate people. When I'm being myself, and when I'm being myself, guys, I feel like I am vibrating at a higher level. Now, when I'm being opposite of myself, I feel shut in. I feel like I'm being fake. I feel like I'm being raped of my true nature. You understand what I'm saying? I feel like I'm forcing something that should not be. And a lot of times what I found is that a lot of people try to be somebody else. I remember I heard Oprah Winfrey say it one time. She said, I got the Oprah Winfrey thing down pat. She said, I got this Oprah Winfrey, I got her down pat. And she said, I don't try to be anybody else because I would be a second class them, but a first class me. And I was like, okay, I like that right there. Come on, Oprah. And I was just thinking about that because I said, a lot of people think you got to walk like this and you got to talk like this. And another thing that I get excited about is when I hear, now nobody take this the wrong way, don't y'all start hitting me up with crazy comments and stuff, but when I look at rappers, the rap that we grew up on was a little bit more, I felt like to me was really more rap. You understand? It was more conscious. You understood what they was talking about. It was more about, especially for black people, about raising the level of consciousness, for us appreciating who we were and things of that nature. The rap today, some of it I can get with, some not so much. Okay, but when I look at these people, like me and my husband one day, we turned on the radio on purpose to listen to some rap music, right? Because we was just comparing how we grew up and what's going on today. And I'm not lying, and Bruce is here. It almost sounded like they were saying their ABCs, didn't they? It was like, A, B, C, D, E, F, A. I was like, what is he saying, babe? Is he saying, what is the words? I said, they're not saying nothing. But when you look that start up, making millions of dollars. So I said, okay, well, if this person can sit up here and make a wrap up about nothing, I mean, absolutely nothing, and can make millions of dollars, that's called influence. That's all it is. And, my spirit's telling me write this word down, influence. When you get a chance, go home and look up influence. What I'm learning now is I strive to be a great student. It's so funny now as you begin to grow in life and you want to learn more. I find myself with a dictionary and my paper, and I look stuff up because I want to make sure that I understand each word, or like they say, parse the word, break the word down. And so, influence. I remember on the way here, Bruce and I, we was talking about, I guess you could say the business of network marketing, direct sales, and things of that nature. And I work with a lot of network marketing because I'm an ex-IRS auditor. People contract me out, those watching live, to come speak to their organization, to teach the tax advantage of business, how to be audit proof, how to protect your assets, and things of that nature. And one of the things is my heart bleeds because there's been some untruths that a lot of these leaders do not tell this young group of people or people who are in there. And I'm going to tell you something. I fear a higher power. You understand what I'm saying? And I feel that when you have this microphone in your hand, or you have you're a high influencer, whether you're social or online or offline, you're responsible for what you're putting out there. You're responsible for what you're telling people, and I strive my best. If I even mess up something and the facts was incorrect, I'll come right back where I was. My mom used to say, if you act the fool in school, you're going to come right back in school and you're going to apologize and where you acted a fool at. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that she put in me. And so one of the things was that I would hear, I have to tell this story, I would hear them saying, all you got to do, put one person on your left, one person on your right, and I'm telling you, if you do that, or extrapolate that out in 12 months, you're going to be earning $40,000 a month. So you hear people getting excited, getting motivated. That's all I got to get is 2. That's all you got to do. Because 2 going to become 4, 4 going to become 8, 8 going to become 16, 16, 32, 32, 64. Then you'll have 128, and they're going down, extrapolating it on out, right? And I'm just like, but I'm looking at these leaders. And we would do the presentation too, right? And we would be saying the same thing. But meanwhile, back at the ranch, I'm putting in more than 2 because I see if I just put 2, I'm not making no money. And I was telling my husband, I said, these people are lying to people, man. I said, because what I'm seeing, the people who were really making the money was the people who had influence. They had, another word for influence, they had a network of people that already knew them, no matter how long it took them to build that first network up, because you have to give it to them now. They did the work to get the people in the first place. But what I noticed is that once they had the people, if they moved to another business venture, oftentimes people will follow them. Now, some people say, well, not everybody follow them, but it's kind of hard to go unfamous when you're famous. Is that correct? Correct. When somebody know you, they know you. So even if a group of people did not follow them from this group, because you're famous, they want to go where you are anyway. So it's that word influence that I learned that's a strong, powerful way of getting people to follow you. And when you're able to embrace your own power, which we're going to get to in just a minute, you become powerful, and you're able just with that power to create wealth. God said he gave us the power to create wealth. He gave it to us. So that means if he gave it to us, it's in me already. I just got to know how to tap into it. And that's what we're going over today. Step 2 is judge no more. Okay? Talking about how do I step into my power? Judge no more. Stop talking bad about people. We call them people, they just gossip, slack talk, slander. Have you ever seen someone, it seemed like they got the news about everything. They know what's going on about everybody. Did you hear about Jerry? Did you hear about Jerry? Let me tell you what happened about Jerry. Did you hear about Chris? let me tell you about Crip. Ooh, let me tell you what happened to Susan. You know, you're just like, what in the, what are you? You just waiting for stuff to happen so you can go back and report? You know, it says judge no more because judgment weakens your power. First of all, guys, when you talk bad about people, and I've noticed this for myself, that if I saw something or said something, because we're human, come on, I'm not going to lie and say I never fell in that trap, because I have. But when I did it, you know, I have a self-accusing spirit that I would feel bad, like I was wearing a jacket of nastiness. You understand? And I felt like I was contaminated when I said something bad. And I might say, I might come to my husband, was I wrong when I said this, and this? And he is so awesome because he asked me the question, well, how did you feel when you said it? And I was like, that man right there. he you know, it's awesome because he don't want to hurt my feelings, but he got a very smooth way of pointing out the wrong. You know what I'm saying? He's like, well, you know, how did you feel? I didn't feel too good. Then maybe you need to examine what you said. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I didn't mean anything about it. Maybe you didn't, but just go back and see where you felt wrong, why you felt wrong. And I'm like, but I'm not a bad person, Bruce. No, nobody said you're a bad person. You just asked me a question. And so, you know, I have learned to be slow to anger, quick to resolve. Slow to anger, quick to resolve. And I've learned how to put myself in that person's position. You know what I'm saying? I've learned to, what if I was in that situation? And a lot of times I have even learned that when you see someone angry, you see someone bitter, you see someone in a certain situation, you don't know their story. You don't know what they've been through and who did they have to support them and things of that nature. So, you know, when I saw that if I said something or, you know, I knew that it was out of the way, you know, because I got a slick tongue, I do. It comes from my mama. My mama, she could cut you down with so many intelligent words. You'd be like, huh? And my mom never cussed. So, you know, she didn't have to. She just know the dictionary. Be like, wait a minute, let me look that up, mama, because that don't sound like you were being too friendly there. You know, so let me go look this word up, you know, because my mom was very highly intelligent, man. She knew how to use those words. And so now what I do is I make sure that when I speak to build people up, not to tear them down. Does that make sense? That's the lesson that I learned with that. I don't judge people because I know that there's a story behind that pain. There's a story. Even when I was sharing with you yesterday about my family, there's a story. There's a reason why certain things are the way they are. It is. And so for me, you know, I pray about it. I fast about it. But I learn to move on. Okay? Now, step 3.
Let go and let God.
Let go and let God. Amen. So, look, remember your presence is your power. That's what we was talking about the other day. Let me put that up there. Okay, so remember, I don't know, those who was here yesterday or those who were watching live yesterday, I said the story about the chicken. Did you hear about that, the chicken and the eagle? Okay, I'm going to repeat this story. This eagle was flying around and he spotted this barn and he saw something crazy. He's like, what is that? What is that? And so he decided to swoop down to get a closer look. And so what he saw was this baby, I guess you call it eaglet, I guess that's the proper term, pretending to be a chicken, hanging out with a bunch of chickens. and doing what chickens do. He was like, wait a minute, what is wrong? This bird is confused. So he said, I'm going to go down here and tell him who he is. So what he did was he swooped down, he cornered the bird, and all the other chickens ran away into the barn. And this, you can see the little eaglet shaking and stuff like, what do you want? What do you want? He said, relax, I just want to talk to you. He said, I want to know, why are you hanging out with these chickens and acting like these chickens? And he looked at him and said, because I am a chicken. He's like, I don't know who told you that lie, but you look like you are me. You will look like me when you get my age. And the chicken looking at him up and down, the eagle, and he's like, no, I'm a chicken. I'm a chicken. He said, have you even looked at yourself to identify that you don't quite look like them? No, I'm a chicken. And so he said, I really want to take you up and show you what you can do. Take me up where? I want to show you how you can fly or whatever. And so he said, so you're not going to eat me? No, I'm not going to eat you. You sure you're not going to eat me? He said, no. He said, okay, well, let me do this. Since you're not going to eat me, I'm going to go tell my friends that you're going to show me how to fly. Because, chickens don't fly. And so he said, you say you're going to show me how to fly, so I'm going to tell them. And so he said, you promise you're not going to eat me? He said, no, I'm going to stay right here. Go tell them where you're going. And then, so you can know that you're an eagle. And so he said, okay. So he walked a little bit, want to make sure he don't get advantage of him. And he ran on off and ran into the barn. And he was laughing his butt off with the other chickens. He's, that eagle out there tried to tell me that I was an eagle when I know that I'm a chicken. And the rest of the chickens looking at him like, you don't say. Well, you really are a chicken. And the moral of the story is this bird did not realize his power. Somebody else identified who he was and was trying to tell him who he was. But he continued to be a chicken. And a lot of us are running around here right now like chickens when we are eagles. Okay? So you got to remember, your presence is power. If your presence doesn't work, neither will your word. The energy force is our presence. Access your presence by practicing a meditation called the Ego Eradicator, okay? And one of the things that I do, I was talking about this yesterday, is I started doing some meditation. And I noticed that when I do meditation, all of the day, first one, it's going to feel like it's strange because you start hearing all the thoughts of things that you got to do, right? You start hearing, I got to take care of this, got to take care of this. And you're hearing all this stuff, but if you continue to inhale and exhale and quiet your mind, you'll come to a quiet place. And then for me, what happens is I get into a spirit of gratitude that I begin to thank God for what I'm grateful and thankful for. And then after going through that, then I come to a place of where I'm going to be in my life. What is it that I'm striving to do? And guys, I'm telling you, it works because I start getting answers immediately. Like I talked about yesterday, doing an exercise of, Napoleon Hill said this now. Napoleon Hill said, he's the author of Think and Grow Rich. He said that after he said his prayers at night, he said what he would do is he would lay down and he would begin to speak to his subconscious mind. Okay, and I told this one lady to do this because she was suffering from a lot of physical problems, sicknesses, and things of that nature. And I told her, I said, what I want you to do, of course, is drink more water because water is life. You understand? Stay away from the carbonated drinks. It's not good for you. Drink more water. Get closer to life. Put more life in you. Your body's made up 70% of water, okay? So I said, you need to put more water in you. And then I said, what you want to do is, when you lay down at night, after you say your prayers, begin to say, I'm speaking to my subconscious mind right now. I want you to look over my body. I want you to examine my body, and I want you to begin to heal my body. I want you to make sure that my blood cells are healthy. I want you to look over my organs and renew my organs. I want you to make sure that my blood pressure is normal. I want you to make sure that the sugar levels are normal. I want you to make sure my cholesterol is normal. I want you to heal my body as I sleep. And when I wake up in the morning, I want you to make sure that I have more energy than what I had yesterday. And when I told her to do that, this is no lie, she walked with a limp. When I saw her about 3 months later, she was walking like this. Had a little bounce in her step. You know what I'm saying? I was like looking like, Linda, that's you? And I said, what happened? Did you go have surgery? She said, surgery? No, I did what you told me to do. And she said, do you know I'm telling other people to do that same thing? It's psychological. Mental. You understand? It's the power within. Our presence is power. And what we don't understand is God gave us our own doctor, which is our immune system. Okay? He also gave us a little helper called our subconscious mind that will go and get what it is that you're asking for. And a lot of people don't understand. They continue to keep regurgitating all the things that they don't want, and they continue to get more of what they don't want. Instead of speaking, as I said yesterday, about I am happy, I am grateful, I am healed, I am healthy, I am wealthy. You know, so we're talking about, remember, your presence is your power. Embrace your power. Don't apologize for who God made you to be. You understand what I'm saying? Don't apologize for being great. Don't apologize because now, after difficulty, you're in your ease stage and you're able to walk in your authority. You're able to embrace yourself. Don't apologize for it. I remember hearing Oprah Winfrey said one time, she said that somebody was talking about Oprah got all, you know, when you get money, people think you're supposed to solve all the whole world's problems. Like now you got money, you're supposed to go out there and help the people that's got problems with them at the border. You know what I'm saying? What you doing? And it could be quite fair for her to say, what are you doing? You know? And she said that one time somebody said to her, really slick tongue, like, well, you got all this money and stuff, you know, look like you would be out there helping more people, you know, all this money that you got, you know, and just was going on all about her money. And she said, and I talked about this yesterday a little bit about how I used to feel a little bad when I made money and other people were struggling. Then because I felt bad, the money would go because money is energy, it's currency, it likes to flow, you know. And she said, listen, you keep talking to me about money like it's a bad thing. She said, when I was broke, where were you? When I was struggling, where were you? When I got raped, where were you? When I was abused, where were you? When I had to go through what I had to go through to get to what I had to get to, where were you? So she said, I didn't apologize for all the hurt, the pain, the rape, and all that stuff. I didn't apologize for that, and I damn sure ain't going to apologize for being wealthy. I said, you better come on there, Oprah Winfrey. Go ahead and tell your truth. And that's what I'm talking about. Embrace your power. Don't apologize for who God made you. I talked about this the other day as well when we was on Facebook Live. And those who are watching by Facebook, watching by YouTube, watching by a live stream and here, right here with us, you know, one of the things that I used to feel a little bad because I didn't quite have this feminine type of, I guess you say dialogue. You know, this little milquetoast, hi, how are you? I'm Jean. God didn't make me like that. He didn't make, yes, and what we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about the power to create wealth. Can you see me talking like that? You couldn't see me, could you? The power to create wealth. Somebody come up and like, Jean, what's wrong with you? What you smoking? You know, God gave me a different type of voice. He gave me a more, I want to say, powerful voice. I always, my mom would say, you have a mouthpiece on you. And I used to ask my mom, what do you mean by that? That sound, is that bad? She's like, no, You have a voice that demands to be heard. I said, Mama, I like that. I like that, Mama. She said, yeah, you have, yes, baby. So use your voice. Embrace your power. And I used to feel a certain way because my voice was a little bit stronger than some of the women that I hung around. And I used to feel like maybe I need to shut it down a little bit, you know? Even when it came to my laugh, and my friend Felicia, she might be watching, I remember that I didn't want to, you know, my laugh, I have people say I have an infectious laugh or a laugh of life, you know, and things of that nature. And when I laugh, you know I'm in the room. Everybody like that, Gene's here. And so I used to feel like let's tone it down and stuff like that. And one day, this one lady was in the audience. We was in this business together, and I heard her laugh. And I thought her laugh was so unique. It was hilarious. And when she laughed, I bust out laughing because her laugh was funny as I don't know what. And I always tell her, I say, you helped me to embrace my laugh because the way you laugh. And you were not trying to hold it back. You weren't keeping it to yourself. You let it out. She said, that's right, because that's me. And I said, that's right, that's me. So remembering your presence, don't apologize for how God made you, your lips, your hips, your thighs, your eyes, your mind, your personality, your laughter. You know, embrace it because it's powerful. Your presence is powerful. Isn't that good? I'm giving y'all some good stuff today, man. Okay, here's another one. Step 4, access your power in the service of others. Ask yourself this question. We're talking about how do I release my power, tap into the power. One of the things is to ask, how may I serve you today? You know, I feel good when somebody called me and I said, thank you for calling. This is Gene Davis. How may I serve you? And you know, you don't hear that much. It's like, how may I serve you? I say, yes, how can I help you today? And one of the great things is when you're going through hell, you're going through pain, a good way of embracing your power is to serve somebody else that's less fortunate. Okay, serve somebody else that needs your help. You know, that is a good way to embrace your power. Do something that helps you discover your power and use it in service of someone else. This radical action will instantly remind you of how powerful you really are and to reinforce the essential idea that your power is best used to lift up others and serve the world. See, I like that. Lift up others and serve the world. I'm going to put that up there. Lift up others and serve the world. So when you lift up others, you know, I really admire people who go out there, who actually volunteer, feed the homeless, who find different activities and come in line and say, how can I serve? Because when you serve, it puts you in a place of being humble. You know, the more money I earn, I get even more humble. Does that make sense? The more I earn, the more God bless me, I get even more humble because I remember when I didn't have. I remember when I was struggling, a single mom of 4 kids, striving to put food on the table, striving to give them the best life yet, didn't want them to know that there was a presence that was not there, talking about the Father, even though God blessed me with a lot of uncles that would come and help me out. Bruce was one of them. Bruce, you know, when I was 28, it was so funny because my children used to call you Uncle Bruce, didn't they? They used to call him Uncle Bruce because he would come get the boys and take them with the rest of the brothers. They would take them fishing and do the little manly things, and that helped me out so much. And me and my daughter, we was able to do things, me and her, to bond together while the boys was doing the little manly things, and I thank God for that. But I remember, you know, I remember when I was a single mom and I was struggling, okay? And I remember, you know, I really didn't really celebrate Christmas and things of that nature at that time. But I would do something else for the children because I always made sure after Christmas we would do, what was it called? Kwanzaa. We would do Kwanzaa. And so I remember like maybe about 3-4 weeks before December, sometime early in November, different people would come up to me at my job and they would say stuff like, you know, your children gotten big, because maybe we had a little picnic and I brought the kids and they, oh man, so I'm not thinking anything about it. They would say, your children gotten big, you know, how old is your daughter now? And I'm like, you know, she's 10 or 11, you know, what size shoes she wear? You know, I said, because, you know, I might have some stuff. They would do like that. I might have some stuff. I have a granddaughter, your daughter age, that maybe you can look at or whatever. And I never, you know, I never turned my nose down anybody or whatever, because I looked at it as God gonna bless somebody, bring me something. I thank Him for you. So I was like, okay, no problem. And it was like, you know, what size coat she wearing? And so different people was coming at different times. How you doing? How's the children? You know, the boys gotten big. How old are? What's their ages? So I wasn't thinking about anything. And then it was like maybe like the second week in December. My manager at the time, she came to me and she said, Jean, I forgot that you got to sign up for this compliance course. And she said, I am so sorry, but you got to go now. I said, now I got work to do. She said, look, we just going to have to catch up on that later. Maybe you could work a day for overtime, but we got to get you to this compliance meeting. So she said, grab a pen, grab a pad. So I'm rushing down with my purse and my pad and pen, going down the elevator and she said it was going to be in the main cafeteria. So when I walk in the main cafeteria, I start hearing all this. People walking up, clapping and stuff, and I'm looking at her. She said, that's for you. I'm like, what's going on? And a lady came up and she said, ooh, I hope I can say this without crying. She said, you are a good mother. We see how hard you work. We see that you never ask for anything. You're like the first one here, the last one to go. You never say no. You're always working hard. And we know that you're a single mom, okay? But we know you're a super mom. That's what she said. So she said, normally we pick other people to give gifts to, like the angel, the angel giving gift or whatever it's called. She said, but this year we decided to pick the angels in our area. And so we picked you. And when I tell you, Tracy, those that's watching, I mean, I had to tell my ego, go sit down somewhere. Because, you know, you get ready to get something, you like want to say, no. I told my ego, shut the heck up, because this is God. And you're going to get, these babies need this stuff. And oh my God, it was coats, shoes, shirts, pants, skirts. I mean, it was so much stuff, even a Christmas tree, $500 here, $500 there, all this stuff. It was so much stuff that it took 3 co-workers to follow me home to bring that stuff. And I just broke down crying, and I hugged everybody in that room that day because, you know, I always wanted to give my children the best, and I was struggling so hard. And I was like, man, you know, I was like, God, are you mad at me? Did I do something wrong? You know, I got married young. I was with him for over 10 years. And when I met him, you know, didn't have children. Now I got these 4 lives. And, you know, I'm like, oh, man, now I got to do everything. But that year, God had a way. I mean, I just sat there and I was just looking at, and they was laughing because I kept looking, just shaking their head like, I said, you know what, you guys are wrong. That's why y'all was coming asking me, because they was like, yeah, we was trying to figure out how to do it too, because you know you're very inquisitive. You know, because one girl said, yeah, because I said, if she start asking me for some questions, I'm going to run off, you know. But I was like, wow. And I said, man, it kind of reminded me of what Oprah used to do in her shows, and you get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car. The power of giving, the power of service, I mean, it really does something to you. And I could just see the people, everybody in there, men and women in there, we all crying, we crying and stuff. And they was like, I could not give it to a more deserving person. Now, here's the funny thing. So, I get all that stuff, and they said, we're going to pack your car, and we're going to pack your cars, and you're excused for the day. You can clock out. My manager said, you clock out, you're done. I said, but what if she said, somebody else is doing your work right now? Mm-hmm. And then she said, but you do have to go upstairs because I said, some more stuff. And guys, when I got upstairs, it was like this envelope. It had cash in it. It had checks in it. Just different people just saying, keep doing what you're doing. Keep believing. God got you. It's okay. And I think that made me so humble. That made me so humble that I said, I want to be able to bless other people like that. I want to be able, because, my son said to me one time, he said, it was this one lady, she was struggling with her children, she needed some help, and, I knew she wasn't going to ask for no money, but I gave her $500. And he was like, Mom, you're going to just give her? I said, God has given me way more. And I said, a lot of times we will not ask for help. We don't, because we don't expect. And I see somebody ask the question, give me 1 second. We don't expect don't look for help, I'm going to answer your question one moment. We don't look for help. And it wasn't that I had this ego. It's just that I was like, it's my problem. These are my responsibilities. So, God felt it upon himself that I could handle this. So what am I to complain about? To come home and see those beautiful lives. That's one thing, though, that I never did. I never looked at my children like they're a burden. They were the main reason why I went into business for myself, because I wanted to be there with them. And you see how my son is. If you meet my other son and my daughter, you'd be like, okay, you just breeding leaders, you know what I'm saying? But the thing about it is that I always wanted them to be successful. I always wanted them to know that they're a gift for life. I always wanted them to know that they'll tell you too, because my voicemail, I think it says that now. You can have, you can be, you can do. My baby boy came in one day. He said, Mom, he came in the house. He said, I want you to know something today. I said, what's that, son? He said, you can have, you can be, you can do anything. And I bust out laughing. I said, you've been listening to my voicemail? He said, as a matter of fact, I had my friends and I played your voicemail to my friends. And I was like, oh, wow. It's just funny. Somebody asked that, Jean, have you always, same question, like my son, have you always been this way? And how did you go on when you had such a hard time? Or like I said earlier, I just, trial and tribulations, man. Going through things. It was this song, I don't know who sings it, but it's a song saying, God, don't move my mountain. Just give me the strength to climb. Because I always, my husband probably going to blush, let me tell you this and I'll come to my husband. When I went to California, I met this man, I was on tour. This is when I was on tour with Danny them. We stayed in this wealthy guy's house, Mr. Norm Alvis, and he rides bikes. And this man was like 60-something years old or whatever. And when I tell you, it looked like somebody took a chisel on his legs and his thighs. It's just so muscular to be such a older gentleman. I was like, oh, and I told his wife, I said, your husband has some great legs. She said, I know, I love them. She said, I just love them. I said, I know you do. And so it's funny because when I look at my husband, I be like, oh my God, I'm just so jealous of you. I'm jealous of your legs. You have some great legs. Look like your leg is like a baseball bat. Like, you know, I always tell him that. And he said, that's from going up ladders and climbing and doing stuff like that. And then, you know, I always see a lesson in everything. I said, thank you for that. He said, well, what you mean? I said, I just got a lesson just there. God don't move my mountain because when he moves the mountain, you lose your strength. But if you don't move the mountain, you got to climb. You're going to get stronger. You're going to get a little definition. You're going to be able to handle that thing. And I said, wow, that's how he became muscular. So, you know, he climbing ladders and things of that nature. And the other guy riding bikes and up hills and down hills and up hills and down hills. And so with that being said, it's just made me think about, you know, that what don't kill us make us stronger. But it's always a lesson in it. It's always a lesson in it. And seek for the lesson. So wrapping that up, lift up others and serve the world. And step 5 is shine. You know, what's her name? What's the baby name? What's the Beyonce? She has a song called Shining, Shining, Shining. All of this winning, she says, with her and her husband. And she said, don't try to hold me down. See, one of the things that we've been taught about false modesty, we've been taught that to talk about yourself, and I really want to go into this. So somebody watching today, and guys, please forgive me, those who are watching live. I do apologize that if I don't get to your question, because it was easy for me to do for Vincent. Okay, awesome. Okay, somebody want to be a wealth creator. Isn't that awesome? That is so, you guys are awesome. They want to know how they can join. I will give you all that information, guys, in just a moment. When we go to the break, I promise to come back and answer any question that I haven't answered. Because I'm going back and forth from different, because we're live here on Facebook, InStream, and YouTube, okay? So I will get to you. Okay, so shine. We even talk about false modesty, okay? You shouldn't talk about yourself, shouldn't talk about your skills, you know, your talents, because that's ego, that's bragging, you know. You full of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Haven't you heard that? You full of yourself. Conceited. You know, we've been taught this false modesty. But what has that gotten you? In real estate, in sales, been featured in Forbes, been featured in Inc., been featured so much. I like him because he embraces power. He's silly, he's goofy, he's fun. He himself, man. And I like him, you know, and basically he don't apologize for who he is. Because he said he'd been through hell. He used to be addicted to drugs. He lost his dad at a young age. He went through a lot of things. And he was able to come to his real self, get out of drugs, and build up an empire. Nobody gave him anything. You know, he said when his dad died, his mom had a house that was paid off. It was a luxury home. She had to sell it just to take care of them. And so he said, you're supposed to embrace what God has blessed you with, and you're supposed to talk about yourself. How else are you going to get what you're looking for? I mean, right? You go to an interview, you know, tell me about yourself. I'm just striving to stay modest and, you know, just be humble. You're not going to get the job.
Who do you help like that?
I know, who do you help? You know, you're not going to get the job. I'm sorry. You're just not going to get it. You know, but the person who shares the experience, you know, it's so funny. I was telling my husband this. I said, babe, everything they taught us growing up, you found out as an adult was lies. You know, money don't grow on trees. Yes, it do, because trees make paper. Absolutely. Don't it? Good things come to those who wait. No, sir. Good things come to those who go get it. There's all things, right? So when you start, some things I was told that if you look at the masses, observe the masses, and then do the opposite, you'll be right, right? And so that mass type of thinking, that cow type of thinking, that, going to the pastor to be killed. And so I was like, babe, I just want to be a light in people's lives to teach them the right way. You understand? To teach them how to get there faster, to help them compress time. And so when I heard Grant Cardone say, you have permission to be yourself. You have permission to talk about yourself, the skills that you have. He said, the person that screamed the loudest get heard. And I said, you know what? That is so right. Well, gosh darn it, I'm about to get to screaming. Right? What you say?
The squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Don't it? She said the squeaky wheel get the grease. And absolutely, nothing has came from just being quiet and not saying anything. You got to open your mouth. My husband, he don't really say a whole lot. It's going to be good to see him talk when we come back from lunch. But he don't really say a whole lot. But when he speaks powerful. And but he knew what kind of woman I am. And it's so funny because people like, your wife, she's like this and she's like, so I know you got to be with her, whatever, And I was like, yes, he is powerful in his own way. But he knew how to pick up that phone and say, now listen here. I've been watching you. And I want to talk to you, girl. He wasn't afraid to approach me. And it's so funny because I always say, when I get around Bruce, I feel like a little girl, because he always made me blush, and I'd be like trying to, don't look at me, honey. Like, don't look at me. But, it's so funny because he's such a manly man, and he just bring out the little girl in me. But, he's taught me so much. And one of the things he had to do, he had to open up. He had to say, hey, look now. Because I said, when I prayed for my husband, I said, God, I'm not going to flirt. I'm not going to look for him. I said, he's going to have to come up to me and tell me what he wants. And so he just didn't come up. He just came on the phone and said, look here, this is what's going down. And I think when I found out that he wanted to court me, I just laughed. I laughed. It wasn't funny. I just laughed because I couldn't stop blushing. I was like, Bruce, come on now. And it was so funny when we got married, my daughter, she accidentally called him Uncle Bruce. He's like, no, don't think I'm your uncle. She said, I know, I got to stop calling you that. But shine, what does it got to do with shining? I digress. But most of us have been taught to turn down our power. Playing small won't work anymore. The world is in desperate need of more miracle-minded people waking up to their true power and purpose. It is your responsibility to shine bright. When you shine, you light up the world. Get into a daily practice of turning on your inner light. Okay, use these two throughout the day. Be more real, stop judgment, meditate, serve others. As you live in your power on a moment-to-moment basis, you will notice your life begin to flow. You will feel more connected to your purpose. You will be able to walk into your passions, drive, release your power, and you will live in the light. So live in the light, guys. And one of the things they just said, and I'm going to go ahead and erase this, but I want to put these words up before we go to lunch in just a little bit. And I thank you guys for asking questions. They're asking questions, baby. What they're doing is, a lot of people is asking questions that's watching on Facebook through Messenger. So that's cool. I really appreciate that. Okay, so we said, be more real. Okay? Stop judgment. Meditate. Serve others. release your power. So this is how you can tap into the source. And one of the last things that I want to go over before we go to lunch, I really want to just talk about it a little bit more, because a lot of people, like I skipped over a little bit, but one of the things is meditation. And if I could put another word next to meditation, it would be prayer. Okay. And like I said, this is my belief. Everybody have their own belief, but this is my belief, guys. And prayer for me answers all things. How do I tap into my power? I pray a lot. And it's when I wake up in the morning, I hear this word say, it's on now. You know what I'm saying? Uh-oh. What? You woke me up again? Okay, it's time to get this thing, man. And I'm very grateful. And I say, thank you, God. That's what I say. Thank you. And I get up, brush my teeth, get myself together, and then I pray a little bit different. Like some people get on their knees and stuff. I don't pray like that. I think I'll be walking like this, like, God, I just want to, like I'm having a conversation with my best friend, and I'll be walking and I'll be talking. I'll be like, God, thank you for everything you do for me. Thank you for the lessons I'm learning. Thank you, God, for oh man, let me just tell you, Father, I just thank you so much for this, and this. And I know God said, that's the most grateful person I ever met in this world. This woman is grateful, man. I am, because when, you've been through what I've been through, and you still here and you looking this good. Hey, I think you'll be grateful too. I'm 47. I know I don't quite look it, but hey, so I'm just very grateful, because I learned, even in a lot of times when you do research and you read up about power, they don't talk about the power of prayer. You know what I'm saying? The power of prayer. I wrote, prayer answers all things. For me, prayer allows me to really, if I can get, okay, good, thank you, time to check. It allows me to really examine what it is that I want. Why am I going for it? Am I going for it for vain purposes? Am I going for it? There's nothing wrong with wanting things. There's nothing wrong with that. But, I have a higher goal that God has placed on my heart, an assignment. And this assignment, it must be done before I leave this earth. And a lot of things that I have been through, I now say, aha, so that's why you had me to go through that. That's the reason why. Oh, man. Now, because a lot of times I'm telling you, I used to be like, okay, I must don't piss God off. He mad at me. I'm the devil child. You know what I'm saying? I'm the spawn or something. Because for me to be going through so much, and I look at my siblings versus me, I went through more things. But, like they say, a successful person has failed more than a person who's not successful. They just kept going anyway. And so one thing my sister had said to me, she said, Jean, sometimes I get jealous because it seems like you're not fearful. I said, well, let me just help you out with that one right there. I said, because it's not that I'm not fearful. I'm fearful. I just act in spite of. That's just it. I just refuse to be broke. I refuse to be busted, disgusted. I refuse to be in a loveless relationship. I refuse to be unhealthy. That's why I'm dropping the weight. I told my husband, for kicks and giggles, I think when I hit 60, I'm going to become a bodybuilder. Didn't I tell you? Then what you say, you going to do what?
Do it with you.
He said he going to do it with me. I said, all right then, babe. I said, because we done made all these millions and stuff, so we got to recreate ourselves. I said, for kicks and giggles, I'm going to start lifting weights and training and being a bodybuilder. Just to say I did it. You know what I'm saying? And so, I told her, I said, I am fearful, but I'm fearful of lack. I'm fearful of not going out here doing what God has called me to do. I'm fearful of, I said the definition of hell to me is you leaving out of here, and as you're entering, hopefully, into the grace of God, Him showing you that if you were to really embrace your power, He's showing you a glimpse of what it is that you was meant to do. I said, to me, that's hell. I want to hear, when I leave up out of here, I want to hear, well done, my faithful servant. That's what I want to say. I want to hear Him say that, And so when I talk about, when she asked me, how do you do it? I said, I pray all the time. I pray when I'm walking. That's why I love nature so much, because I feel like I'm close to God. I'm out there in the creation, and I'm hearing not the bees, but I'm hearing the birds and hearing the little crickets and all that nature. It does something to me. Like, it's so funny how my husband and I have only been married 3 years, but he is so in tune to me because he knows I like water. So for the last 2 birthdays, he's been taking me to the beach. And he take me to the beach, and I just walk around, and he doesn't say anything. He knows that once I hit that water, what happened, Bruce? I start praying, right? It's just a direct connect that I just gotta get in the water and start praying and giving praise and thanks and stuff like that. I remember when I first went out to California, I said this the other day, and I was looking at the ocean. I was in San Diego, and they had the Navy ships out there, and they had the people on the bikes carrying you around the pier, and when you got to the end, all you see is just like miles and miles of ocean, no land. And I just went into, God, you are great. You are great. Great you, I want to sing that song, how great thou art. I told you I'm silly. I told you. Oh, but I did, because, and I was just, it was so funny because Danny Glover, he was standing behind me, rubbing my back. It's okay, babe. It's okay, babe. Because I was crying, because I was just like, wow, isn't God great, man? And I think to tap into your power is to tap into the power of prayer, to get understanding, to understand the lesson, what it is that I need to do, how do I need to go about it. He said, you have not because you ask not. And what I think a lot of people, you guys watching live, guys, I'm telling you right now, the reason why you're in the situation, if you're where you not want to be, is because you have not been asking. And then you got to get in a position of listening. Sometimes you got to unplug, from the negative. Like, take stop watching so much TV. Stop watching so much news. CNN, constant negative news. You understand? Stop watching that stuff. Get into a meditative state. A good way to meditate is to maybe pray, man. Pray. And then begin to ask the questions that you need to ask. And I was saying to Bruce, with tapping into your power, I said, you got to listen. Because I was saying to Bruce on the way here, I said, it's funny how my own mind tells me what I need to do. Like, drink more water. Someone saying, you need to drink more water. You need to drink some cranberry juice. You need to walk. When my mom got sick, and this is no lie, when my mom got sick, I was so stressed out. I was so stressed out that in the middle of the night, I remember it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, my spirit said, you need to join the gym, like right now, and start working out to relieve that stress. Because I would be it was so tight in my neck and my shoulders, and I was stressed out, and I was having headaches, and it was just tension and stress kills. And so I started working out. Yeah, I lost some weight, but it wasn't for that. It was just to relieve the stress. And I'm telling you right now, even exercising is a good way to get into your power, because you release endorphins and you get ideas. I know when I work out, I feel good. I feel like I can conquer my world, man. I really do. And so one of the things is, what you have to do, guys, is understand that there's nothing wrong with asking. There's nothing wrong with receiving. And there's nothing wrong with giving. And by doing so, you're going to be able to release the power that's in you. But for me, like I was saying, when I pray, I see miracles happening. And I have a dream in my heart that I know that before I leave this world, I want to impact 1 billion lives before I leave. Whether it's live like this, or you being here, whether it's MP3, whether it's a book, a DVD, it doesn't matter. I want to do that. Now, why 1 billion, Gene? I want to go out here and impact 1 billion lives of them that believe. And I believe that I want to impact 1 billion lives to help them to live a fulfilled life. Because it seems like since we've been born, all we talk about is death. I gotta get right, church. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get good. Are we gonna get right, church? You know, you're just like, man, can I live? Can I enjoy? It's like when we leave up out of here, you know, we're gonna go to this great place, but you know, you gotta go through long suffering, you know, and all this stuff. And I'm just like, but there's a great contradiction there, because what I read, he said he wants you to prosper, be in good health, and as your soul prosper. And so I want people to be able, that's the reason why we came up with Impact. That's the reason why, you know, when I was doing a Facebook Live, it slipped off my lips. I couldn't take it back. I said, we're going to have an Impact conference. Right, Bruce? Mm-hmm. I said, we're going to have and I was looking at Bruce like, this is not YouTube pre-record. This is real live. People are hearing me speak right now. And then they would send in messages. When is it going to be? Where's it going to be? When? I was like, oh, Lord. I said, well, we're going to get into it. We're going to do it. And then I was like, oh, babe, I done messed that one up, didn't I? I wrote a check and I got to cash it, you know, because I don't put it out there. But that's the reason why. And I had this vision. And I told Bruce, I said, I had a vision, babe. We was doing an Impact conference. And it was like, I kept saying, wow, it's over 20,000 people in the room. And, you know, the DJ was playing the music and everything. And then, lo and behold, I look up, and Bruce is in, because Bruce do all the camera work and stuff. Bruce was in this chair, in the air, filming, and he winked at me. And I winked back, and I said, ooh, I get to flirt with the camera guy. I said, that's my husband. And I told him, I said, wow, it felt so real. So I know that it's already done. We're going to do an Impact conference. It's going to be huge, and I think we're going to have it in Las Vegas. It's going to be huge, guys, and I'm so excited about it. But you have to start now. You have to work out the kinks. You got to work out what needs to happen, the volunteers, the this, the that. You know, we putting everything together. So I really appreciate Second Impact. So she's a VIP. You know we're going to have her as a volunteer. Rocking the Impact shirt. She's going to be like, I've been here since the beginning. Very grateful and thankful for is that doing this has really helped me to even research and see the needs of others, and to really, you know, people email me, and oftentimes she feel, let me get back there. She said oftentimes she feel that she can't make it. How did I make it with for Jesus? I know, right? Jesus. You answered it. Prayer. Okay? Prayer. But the thing about it is life over me and my children. I kept saying we're going to be successful. We're going to live a good life. My children, I just know that wasn't the path for me. People was like, well, you need to be who I can have in my house, who I can't have in my house. Nobody's going to be doing no random checkup popping up over my house. Nobody's going to do that. So I said, it costs to be the boss, and I refuse. You know, but one of the things that, just to answer your question, I prayed, like you said, you know, I stayed in constant prayer, but God showed me prayer without work don't work. That, well, you have to look at what is it that you can do now, what skill, what talent. I needed a quick $500, I'll be there. And you know, and I would braid their hair, take me 3 hours to do a head, man. I would do that. And my children would look at me and they was like, Mom, you just get this money. Or if I needed some money, I would do a webinar. And I said, I'm gonna charge, you know, it's gonna be an hour, so I'm gonna charge like $69.95, you know, something like that. And people, they were like, I mean, and so for me, sis, answering this question, I would definitely say prayer. Ask God for what it is, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, because now look at my baby. I can't believe this. My baby is about to be 2 in a few weeks. And I'm like, wow, so God, I raised these kids and now I'm free. Don't be afraid to ask for help. You know, God took that ego thing away from me a long time, and I thank him for it, because I used to be like, no, I just got to do it myself. But now if I need help, you better believe I'm going to ask. The only thing they can tell me is no, that I'm not superwoman. I'm not. I can't do it all by myself. So it's nothing wrong to do that. And then, of course, here to the why. Because I said, you become who you think about, who you hang about. So I want to be married, so let me be with these married women over here. You understand? And so, you know, because I'm getting ready to put that hat up of being a single mom. I'm not a single mom, right? Go through it. I'm still going through it today. But, you know, if you're here in Atlanta, Georgia, even, you know, they got now Zoom, they got Skype, you know, I can talk to you just like you're watching right now. I'd be more than happy. It's rough. It is rough. It is rough. Even, like I said, when I said join a group, and I'm going to wrap this up, babysit each other's kids. Like, okay, say, I think Tyler Perry made a movie like that. These group of women came together to help each other out, and we would watch. He's like, okay, I want you to go out. I got this weekend. Go enjoy yourself. You know what I'm saying? Go do something for yourself. And God just blessed me with some angels in my life. I mean, one lady, her name is Becky. I said, angels who have been in my life to help me get to where I'm at. And I just want to get them a trip, get them some money so they can enjoy it. And it's just my way of saying thank you for being there. When I asked God, I said, God, please allow me to be able to do this for them, because, you know, I know that a lot of times I didn't know how I was going to make it, but I guarantee you, you pray, you believe, just make sure you just stay in touch. So guys, look, that's this portion of the Power to Create Wealth. You know, to be able to release your power, make sure you be real. Make sure you don't judge others. You know, it talks about judging others. You know, meditate. Meditation is good to give you some direction, to bring yourself to center, to see what it is that you absolutely need to do. And for me, prayer answers you, you know, in a positive way. There's nothing wrong with volunteering. There's nothing wrong with lifting other people up and serving the world. And that's what I'm about. I want to lift you up. I want to let you know that you can have. Thank you so much for watching. What we're going to do, because we're ending this portion a little bit earlier, we're going to go ahead and take a quick lunch. Well, not really a quick lunch. We're going to come back here around about 12:15. We're going to do that. And I know, is that, we go now? No, we're going to come back. Let's come back around about 12:30. Give you guys a good hour for lunch. And when we come back, we're going to be going over, all right, I get to kick it with Mr. Bruce, right? I get to kick it with you, Bruce? We're going to come back with the Mastermind Alliance. Well, what I could do, because it's a couple of more questions. Let's just do this so I can be fair. A couple of people, like, can I take that time to answer some questions? So give me 1 second. Let me just go ahead and take these quick questions, because that way we can stay on schedule and we could just go to lunch at 12:15 and come back at 1:15. So let's just do that right quick. Let's just take these questions and let me get back into it. 1 second. Okay, so somebody asked me, and Bruce, can you do this for me? Can you put that website up, the Wealth Creators website, just erase that right there? Somebody asked me, how can they be a part of the Wealth Creator program? Okay, and it's very, very easy. Bruce is going to put it up there. You want to use this one? put it in that one. Bruce, you can erase the board right there, honey. Okay. Bruce gonna put it up there, and for those who wondering what this is about, I talked about it briefly yesterday. I talked about we have what we call Tiffis Wealth Creators, and can you write it under Tiffis Wealth Creators, baby, so they know what that is? It is a inner circle and mastermind coaching program. It is a learn and earn program, which what we have done is we have real training sessions that we have done on various subject matters, dealing with taxes. We have one, how to be audit proof, 10 steps you need to do to protect yourself, the tax advantages of owning a business. There's a lot of information dealing with taxes, information dealing with finances, and information dealing with investing. We even put so you think you want to invest in real estate. We also put another real estate training back there already. We have dealing with branding, personal development, how to build a brand, how to, attract people in your business. We have a lot of information back there that is, and it's no fluff and puff, because let me just tell you, I've taken a test drive where I have seen other people's inner circle, where I've seen where they might have put some information back there and it was a 7-minute video, 5-minute video. No. We have real videos where we put in hundreds of hours of researching, training, teaching and stuff, that we have the videos back there that is like 30, 45 minutes. Some videos are an hour, of real precise information. Like, people have came up to me and said, oh my God, Miss Davis, like, how in the world do you allow people to access this type of information for the mere price of what they're paying? And you can go to the website, Mr. Davis is writing it on the board right now, video.tiffiswealthcreators.com. You could go to the website. When you go there, you'll see a brief synopsis of what the business is about. But then when you go in, we are going to ask for your name. Put your correct name there. Put your correct email so you can get updates and things of that nature. But when you go to the next page, you're going to see a presentation that breaks down the Tiffis, that breaks down the Tiffis Wealth Creators program. And so you're able to actually see it, and you're able to actually really see what the program is about, because sometimes people want you to do a quick hurry up, tell me what it's about. And that's not what we want. You to make sure that you be an intelligent buyer, that you don't have any remorse. So make sure you go to the website, put your name, put your email, watch the brief presentation that break down what the TWC program is about. It is an inner circle and mastermind coaching program, and you can decide which level you want to come in at, okay? There was another question. Let me go back in. I'm sorry, I timed out. And maybe it was a statement. Let me see. Let's see. And I think we answered that question. Give me one moment. I'm just going through the questions, guys, so be patient with me. And I thank you guys for watching. Thank you for those who registered online to watch this, and and we're very grateful and thankful to you guys. I think I pretty much I answered that question. I think that's pretty much it. And if I overlook, trust me, when we come from break, we'll go through it and we'll look at it, guys. But yes, one of the main things is that somebody did ask me earlier, how did I get this idea of doing an Impact conference, and I think I just went over that. And like I said, I was doing a Facebook Live, and I wasn't thinking about an Impact conference. I wasn't thinking about it. I was just talking, and I don't know what we were talking about. But when I do my Facebook Lives, I normally have 4,000, 5,000 views and stuff like that. And I was like, wow, because that's another story. My husband talked me into doing Facebook Lives because I used to do a lot of YouTube videos, but I didn't do YouTube Live like it is right now. I would do the recorded where you just record the video and upload it, and if you don't like it, you can edit it. So he pulled me out of my comfort zone and said, look, you need to do this Facebook Live. I was like, I don't know. No, because if I mess up, baby, I can't take it back. He was like, you got to get out of it. But you tell me, your comfort zone is your broke zone. I was like, okay, you're going to do one of those. You're going to do one of those on me. Okay. And so, I went ahead and started doing the Facebook Live, and people start following, and people start requesting, when you're going to go live, make sure you send out a little memo to say I'm going to go live, okay? And so I said, okay. So I started doing that, and that particular day, I just think something might have happened, and I was just in the spirit. I was going in, man. We had people chiming in. Facebook sent us a message that said, this is the most watched video that you have in your collection, and the most responsive. And I was like, wow. And so basically, I just started saying, you know what? We're going to do this Impact conference. We're going to talk about purpose and passion and power. And I think my friend Felicia, she said, we need to talk about possibilities too. I said, that's right. Yeah, and endless possibilities. That's what we're going to talk about. I said, yeah, thank you for that. And so that's what we did. And I think the first one, we might have had 40 people or something like that. It was a good one, wasn't it? Last year, yeah. We had about 40 people that came. It was really good, and I was like, wow, that, I said, that was awesome. And then we did another one, and then we did another one. And so now, this one right here has been more social live. We said we wanted to rent a room and record and do this live, so we gave away a lot of free tickets and those who came on live, and we're so very grateful and thankful that you guys did this, because we had so many people who purchased video and they wanted to see it, and so we had to make up for that. And I thank those who have believed in us in the beginning, those who purchased the DVD, and we had a little mess up with that, but that's okay. Those who did that, we're going to make sure you get this broadcast. And we're very grateful and thankful to everybody that's watching, whether you're watching live or you decide to drive down here and be with us. We really, really appreciate you guys, and we're just grateful. It's a lot of work. Like I said, when you have a dream, when you have a vision, you have a goal, there's going to be obstacles. Like even with our marketing. We had a marketing mishap, right, Bruce? Mm-hmm. And I was so angry. I was like, God, come on, what's going on here? But there's a lesson there. And so just, learning everything that we need to do, that vision of having 20,000 people, you got to be ready for that. You got to be ready for the hiccups. You got to be ready for the camera. You got to be ready for the volunteers. You got to be ready for everything. But that's really how it came about. Just me saying it on Facebook Live, and then we started saying, okay, when we come back, building strong relationships, ask him some questions and things of that nature. We're going to let that flow, and then we'll talk about mind, body, and soul, keys to physical healing. And we're going to take a break, and then we get into the 10X theory. So we'll get into that, guys. And so it's just a lot of things. It's going to change. It's going to change. We're going to have various speakers that we're going to have to come here. Like we met a gentleman that we think at the next Impact, he deals with natural oils, honey. Mm-hmm. Him and his wife, they deal with natural oils, and we want him to come in on the piece that talk about keys to physical healing, because he talked about the oils and how they use them and how it has helped him and his family. Last year we had another gentleman that he was in the wine industry that came up and spoke. And so what we're doing is we're looking for talent like you. We're looking for people that we can put in place, and we're looking for people who pretty much, you can come in, darling. We're looking for people who pretty much are looking to be a part of this. And so we're very grateful for those who are watching live, and we thank you for being here, those who's here, you know, because this is something that it was kind of like, I told my husband, I said, you know, babe, we don't have to get the hotel room. We can just do it in the living room. He said, no, we're going to get a hotel room because that way I can access their broadband more and we can broadcast several places, which what we're doing. But I'm glad all I have to do is look at one camera. He the one handling all that stuff. But that is the reason why we decided to even do it here and invite people to come down here for free to be the studio audience. But we're really, really grateful and thankful for you chiming in this morning, asking those questions, and thank you everybody. I can't really go through the names, but I really want to thank you for your questions, and I hope we get your questions answered. And if you have a question right now, make sure you go ahead and just send me an inbox message. When I come back, before we go into our piece, I'll make sure that I answer your questions. And what we're going to do, guys, we're going to go ahead and go to lunch. So you can go ahead and stretch your legs. You can go ahead and get off the sofa or wherever you may be in your home. Stretch your legs. And then when we come back, we're going to dive right into Mastermind Alliance, building strong relationships. So stand by. We're going to lunch, and we'll see you in just a little bit. All right. Are we off air? Are you gonna stay on air? No. No, you gotta pause it. Is there any way you can pause it?
I gotta stop it and then restart it.
Yeah, and just say part 2.
Well, okay.
Yeah, so it don't be that whole hour break.